Welcome to Before the Show, where the amps are warming up and the stage is always set for one hell of a night. I'm Bobby,
I'm Jeff.
and we're bringing you exclusive backstage access to the artists hitting the stage here at the Vixen in McHenry. Before the crowd rushes in and the show gets started, we're diving deep, talking music, life on the road, and the stories behind the artists and the songs.
Let's go.
All right. Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Good. How about you?
Good.
Excellent.
So let's start. First of all, I'm really excited about our interview today. I'm super excited about this show. But before we get to that, let's talk about what's going on. Well, we made a big announcement. Let's talk about that first, because that's pretty cool.
So we announced it's October 26th. Is that correct?
26th, 28th,
Something like
around
that.
there.
It's on the website.
Yeah, it's on the website.
We are having an 80s theme prom, which is going to be amazing. We have a great 80s act that has not been to the Vixen called Dr. DeLorean. They're from Michigan. Really, really fun band.
And the Space Invaders.
Oh, Dr. DeLorean, the Space Invaders. I forgot about that.
I like that.
And it's going to be a great show. And we're encouraging all attendees to dress in your 80s prom theme. We're going to have prizes, awards, King of the Prom, Queen of the Prom.
We're spiking the punch.
We're spiking the punch.
Spiking the punch. Crowns. Yeah, it's going to be a really DJ. It's going to be a little different show because you've got it set up a little in a kind of a unique way.
DJ early on, then a band, then followed by a DJ. So it's going to be an amazing night, and tickets are on sale tomorrow.
Tickets are on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m. You can find them at vixenmchenry.com, but this show is going to be super fun. It'll be more fun if everybody shows up in their prom dress. Bonus points if you actually wear your actual high school prom dress, which I'm not sure.
And anyone that buys a ticket, it gets included in a contest that we're going to give away a limousine trip to and from the Vixen. So you could have extra fun and have some cocktails.
We haven't even announced that yet. So all of you watching, you got a little sneak preview into some of the special stuff we're going to be doing before the show. So awesome. And then what do we have going on this weekend?
We have Rewind 85 and the Dollar Giraffes, who are two great bands that always do well here for us, the Vixen, both fun bands. That's on Friday. And then on Saturday, we have Peter Antoniou.
Yeah, who is a psychic comedian, and I have been watching all kinds of his content, and it's amazing. I don't even know what to say.
Very fun. It's gonna be a very fun show.
You know what I think we should do?
Let's bring him on.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, welcome, Peter. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Excellent.
We're doing great. Before we start, tell me what I'm thinking right now. I'm just kidding.
Filthy. We can't put that on the internet. You have to behave.
I'm thinking about what a great show we're going to have this Saturday. That's the right answer.
That's right. So this Saturday, September 6th is the Saturday, right? Doors open at 7, and we've got Peter Antoniou on stage. What you do is absolutely magical. You know, it's like you watch a magician and you feel like you know there's a trick in there, you just can't see it. But what you're doing, I don't even get it. I don't even get it.
Yeah, so a fun interactive show. Everyone gets to get involved. Everyone gets to think of a question they'd love to ask a psychic, and it can be anything from, like, should I take that job I've been offered, to what color's my underwear? We go through the whole gamut, and people get to get involved. And it's fun and interactive. But if you're thinking about coming but terrified of being picked on, don't worry. No one's forced to get involved in the show. If you don't want to, I'm not going to expose your dark secrets unless they're very funny, and then maybe.
How did you come up with your amazing gift or amazing skill? How did you develop this, and when did it start? I mean, I have so many questions, but like, how does someone, we interview a lot of musicians, and they always have. We just lost him.
Oh,
there we go. You're back. We lost you for a second, but you're back. We have musicians, and they all kind of have the same story, how they got guitar, drums. But how does a mind reader or a psychic get started?
Oh, we can't hear you. Are you muted?
Did you
Peter?
mute yourself?
Did you mute? Because we can't hear your voice at all.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Let's.
There we go.
There
we go. You're back.
There we are. No idea why that muted there.
All right, I'm gonna ask the question. I'll ask the question again, and then this way we go. So how did you come about your amazing talent and gift on to have this psychic ability?
Yeah, I think I was just a bit of a weird kid. Like, I sort of was always into comic books, and I really wanted a superpower, and just thought, like, oh, like that kids do, like, oh, I'll just learn how to read minds. That's a cool superpower. And my aunt read like tea leaves and palms, so like stuff like that was always in the family. And I just started exploring loads of different things. And it was still the early days of the internet as well. So you could like email people and they were jazzed to get email as opposed to being annoyed. So I spoke to lots of like psychics and psychologists and hypnotists and magicians and just tried to learn as much as I could about how people's brains work. And I just seemed to have a natural flair for it, and it took off from there.
Wow. So it truly is. There's not. You don't feel like there's not a trick to it. Like you're truly connecting to somebody's energy or thoughts or.
Yeah, there's a whole like in the show I go through like a bunch of the different techniques that I use to sort of get into people's brains. And I think as well, like I've done it for so long now that it's kind of stopped being a conscious thing. I just sort of my subconscious takes over, and I'm just like in a flow state, and I'll just look at someone and think, oh, it's probably this, and I couldn't explain why I'm thinking that. It just sort of clicks into my brain.
Crazy, crazy. So, how did you marry up the concept of comedy with this psychic ability in your shows?
I think like having your mind read is as very scary idea, full stop. So I think having the comedy sort of takes a little bit of the edge off of it. And then also when I was in college, I joined an improv troupe and ended up running the improv troupe. But trying to organize six comedians to turn up at the same place at the same time, it's like herding cats. It's not worth its time. So I took a lot of the contacts we had from that comedy club sort of touring with the improv troupe and said, oh, I've got a funny mind reading show. Would you book that? And like, if I'm honest, at the time, I didn't really have a full mind reading show, but I was used to standing on stage for 90 minutes improvising comedy. So I was like, oh, I'll figure it out. And it just kind of grew from that point. I ended up then getting hired to host a lot of burlesque shows as well. So I was sort of the guy that introduced the whole variety show to people. So it was a fun, unexpected journey.
Oh, interesting. Improv can bring people to a lot of interesting places, I have learned.
So was that
Yeah.
when you were doing that? Was that in your home country or was that in the States? Where were you
Yeah.
developing that?
So that was back in the UK. Yeah. I sort of moved around the UK. I moved to America at the start of 2021, which was like
Okay.
a weird time to move because we were still sort of in and out of lockdowns and things. So it was my first performance back from the pandemic was the audition for America's Got Talent. So there was a feeling of like, do I remember how to do this? We've all been sat inside for a year and a half.
Right.
Yeah, not a lot of minds to read when you're stuck in the house. So let's talk about America's Got Talent because that's such an interesting journey. Can you tell us a little bit about what that experience was like? I know you made it all the way to the semifinals, right?
Yes, yeah. It was a fun and stressful experience. So like, you know, a great opportunity to introduce myself to everyone, but like with any of those TV shows, it's sort of high pressure. There's short turnarounds. You're trying to get everything done in time. And then there's so many extra layers of like the producers have to approve things and like you have to make sure that they can film it in the time and stuff. So it was all a challenge, and like having to work with the judges was a bit of a challenge as well because like a lot of my show is telling people things I couldn't possibly know about them, but you know almost everything about like Howie Mandel because he's been on television for the last 30 years, so you could google him. So the extra challenge of being like, how do I design a demonstration that people can't just think, oh, I bet he googled that before, and that was part of the fun challenge for me as well. But yeah, a great experience to get to meet all of them, even if Simon is incredibly grumpy.
Well,
Um,
that was gonna be my next question. How big of a dick is Simon? Is that just an actor? Or is he really an asshole?
I think he's a little bit like those like 1980s professional wrestlers that have done it for so long they forgot that it isn't real,
Right.
that he has sort of acted grumpy so much. And like there were days when he'd show up to set and he would be happy and it would be a great day, but then if he woke up on the wrong side of the bed, oh, you definitely knew it.
Because he was the only one that buzzed you, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I don't. Wasn't it?
Yes, yeah. He buzzed me twice. I think he was scared of what I might know about him. I might be too deep inside of his brain.
I'm sure that's it. I'm sure that's it. That's interesting. And it was interesting too. Jeff and I were talking about the show the other day, and Josh Blue was on in the semifinals or quarterfinals with you. We have him coming to the Vixen in a couple of months.
Yeah, he's coming next month, and we've had Josh here before, so we've got a couple of America's Got Talent alumni here, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, I love Josh. It was when I got eliminated from the show, it was down to me and Josh for going through to the finals. And I sort of like, if you're going to get eliminated by someone, a good friend who who you work, you respect is the best opportunity like for that. So
Right.
absolute blast. Yeah, if you can get to see Josh's show, if you're watching as well, he's hilarious. It's worth a night out.
If it's any consolation to you, you have more tickets sold than he does right now. So you got that going for you.
Yeah, we were
That does
pretty
make me feel better.
We have never, I don't think we've ever had a show like this here. Like
No.
we've got comedians, we do comedy once a week, but not this type of a show. So it went over really well right out the gate. People seemed pretty excited about it. So can you
I'm so
tell
glad. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, we are too. Can you tell everybody just a little bit? So if they haven't seen you yet, we've been watching YouTube videos and things like that, but can you tell people kind of what they can expect when they come to a show like this?
Absolutely. So it's a full interactive comedy mind reading show. So people will be asked to think of things. I'll tell you stuff about you that there's no way I could know. I'll tell jokes and fortunes. We get involved. There's some fun gambling. There's some mind reading. I'll teach you how to spot when someone's lying. And yeah, there's nothing heavy, nothing dark. We're not going to talk to anyone's dead relatives. We're not going to bring out anyone's long lost sister and make people cry. It's sort of a good, just fun show with a touch of unnerving mystery.
Excellent. That's a great great wrap up. I
Yeah,
like it.
yeah.
I like it. So when we do these podcast interviews, one of the things we like to do, and like Jeff said, we're typically working with musicians, but we've got a little lightning round of a couple of questions we'd love for you to throw us an answer to. Ready?
Absolutely. Hit me.
All right. So do you have a pre-show ritual that you follow to get you all set to get up in front of everybody?
No, I don't. I'm like quite an anxious person in normal life, but stage is the only time that I feel very calm. So yeah, before the show I just sort of sit down, have a glass of water, and then just wait until everyone's in their seats and it's time to go.
Nice.
What has been your biggest oh shit moment on stage?
I There's a video of it on my YouTube. I am giving a reading to a woman and I realize that she is pregnant with twins. And I sort of say like, "Oh, am I allowed to say this?" Because it becomes clear that her daughter, who is with her at the show, does not know yet. And I'm about to reveal it. And I suddenly caught myself and was like, "Oh, I need to check that I'm not about to ruin someone's, plans for a reveal." But she
Right.
said, "No, that's fine." And then I got to reveal it. And it was a great moment
Wow.
and wonderful. But yeah, there was the second before you do that. And also, always dangerous territory just to point at someone and say, "You're pregnant with twins." Because if you're wrong,
Right. Right.
Oh, crazy. Um, so I would, you know what? I kind of have two questions. I'm going to let you ask a last question. But were there people as you were growing up and growing into this, besides your family, that really inspired you to continue on this journey to be an entertainer in the way that you are?
I think there was like it was difficult to find, yeah, like role models of other performers doing what I wanted to do, but there was a number of like different like promoters that sort of saw something in me that at the time I didn't think I saw. Because like this was never meant to be a career. It was a fun party trick that I did sort of to amuse my friends. And then I started doing the improv shows, and then I had like, yeah, a couple of comedy club promoters and a burlesque promoter called Gillian George Lewis that like saw me and said, "Right, I want you to like be my host for this residency. I want to foster this talent." And just having someone say like, "I want to back you," is such a boost to someone who, yeah, the plan was never entertainment. My dad's a mechanic, my mum's a math teacher. Like showbiz was never in the family. So to have someone see what I was doing and say, "I want to back this," was just such a boost.
Awesome. Not a bad way to make a living doing doing things you like to do for friends.
All right. Last
Yep.
question before we let you go. What's the best piece of advice you've received from someone in the showbiz industry? You mentioned showbiz. So what's the best piece of advice you've ever received from someone in your industry or showbiz itself?
I think it was having to understand that like not everyone is gonna love everything you do, and that was especially true like when I started doing television and started posting on the internet. That like not everything is for everyone, and as long as you have like your core group of people that are appreciating what you're doing and you're making art you're proud of, then like that should be enough. If there's one negative comment, you can't ignore the 100 positive comments just because one person didn't like it. And that was good for just keeping your head on, because I think a lot of people spiral out, and I was certainly guilty of it, spiraling out because like, oh, but this one person doesn't like that show. And I'm like, tough. Like some people,
Right.
Not
some
my
people don't like
people. That's the
pizza.
thing.
Right, right. Well, amazing. Well, I'm sure everyone on Saturday is going to love your show. You're going to have no one have anything to say negatively. I'm so looking forward to the show. I really am. It's going to be a great time. I look forward to meeting you, and we'll see you on Saturday.
See you soon.
That's right. So everybody, don't forget, you can get tickets at vixenmchenry.com. You can pay at the door, but it's so much easier to buy tickets online. So be sure that you do that. And before you are done watching this video, like and subscribe. And if you know anybody that'll find this show entertaining, share the link with them. Invite them to come with you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.